Today we're going to be working on Andrew's coupe. If you don't know, this thing's pretty much bone stock. It has really nothing done to it, what, other than exhaust? Yeah. That's it. So I don't even think it has headers on it. But Andrew has been itching for a while for a new camshaft. He wants to put a cam in this thing, and he wanted to do something a little different. Now, to be honest with you, it's hard to do anything different these days in the FOXBODY world or car world in general, but we did kind of stray away from your normal alphabet cam or trick flow cam, anything like that. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and show you what we got. There it is, guys. So as you can see, we're gonna be going with an Anderson cam. So, you know, we always talk about valve springs and how they make a car hit. You can take a car with a V-cam in it and stock valve springs and it will sound good. The Retro Fox sounded real good for a long time. But when we put our new heads on, it come with better valve springs, and that's when that cam started to talk shit. In this box, as you can see, we have some trick flow valve springs. Now these are for stock heads, and we're gonna be throwing those on today. Now we're probably gonna go ahead and do this first because it is somewhat aggravating. It's been years since I've done these, guys. It has, but it's honestly not that hard to do. You just need the right stuff to do it with. So if you guys don't know, one of my favorite FOXBODY channels is Donnie B. I watched his channel back whenever I was doing the Own 3 install on my car, and he had some really good information out there. Super nice guy, and he just so happens to work at Anderson Motorsports. So I called him up and asked him which cam he recommended for Andrew's car, and that will be a B21 camshaft. All right, guys, I'm not going to be able to show you the cam card just because Anderson, that's a highly guarded secret. I'm sorry. I mean, it is what it is. If you guys got any questions and want to know if these cams will work in your car, then give Donnie B a call over at Anderson Motorsports and he can tell you more. Looks like a camshaft. All right. Anyway, enough talking. Let's go ahead and get started on Andrew's car. I'm going to set up a time lapse, as I love to do. Me and Andrew are going to listen to a little bit of music and chill out while you guys watch. I'll stop when we get to the valve springs and we'll cover that part.
She cried to the southern wind by the light that was sure to end. Every dream in her heart was gone, headed for a shutdown. Bad dreaming, what's your name? Looks like we're riding on the same train. Looks as though there'll be no pain. It's gonna be a shutdown. And it's a rain.
So as you can see, we got the valve covers off and the upper intake. These jobs are a lot harder on these stock cars. If you still have all of your stock smog stuff, it makes it really hard to get your spark plugs and everything else. I don't know if Andrew's going to want to delete this right now. We may just keep it and delete it later. So we're going to go ahead and get his AC lines off and out of the way so that we can get this bar in here. Now this is as basic as it gets of a setup. Now what this is a compression tester that you can buy from AutoZone, somewhere like that. And inside is a hose with an air chuck on it. So what we're going to do is screw this into the cylinder. We're going to fill it with air. And what that'll do is that'll hold the valves up. That way the valve doesn't fall down into the cylinder. We don't want that, right? So we're going to do that. Then we're going to take this bar and we're going to press down on the valve spring. So we're going to press down, and that's how we're going to get this. So yeah, old school. This is as old school as it gets. Now there are other options for you. You can go in, I've heard of people like packing like string or rope into the cylinders, and it packs the cylinder full. That way the valve can't drop. It basically hits the rope in the cylinder. But for us, we're going to use this old school technique. Shouldn't be too bad, but we're probably going to have to move some of these lines out of the way. So let's go ahead, get that done, and we'll jump into the installation of these springs. Look at that. Y'all don't even remember this guy right here. It's been so long. Check it out. Ooh, little sneak peek. We'll talk about that though in a minute. All right, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've not done this in years and years, so we had to take a little refresher course. So we went ahead and did the first two, and we had to kind of get the right angle, the right length bolt, and everything else. So we're gonna go through this as quickly as I can and show you guys what we know about this and the best way to go about it. So to start with, you're going to want to screw this in, and you're going to use this to pump your cylinder up. So just go ahead and attach that, have it ready. All right, and we have about 100 pounds of air on this, and it seems to be working pretty good. Now the motor may move with you, so that's why we went ahead and put the distributor back in it. That way if it moves, you know, whatever, it's no big deal. If you want to take your distributor out and leave it out, you can. You just have to get top dead center and everything else. So let's go ahead and pressurize the cylinder. Now this car is going to have some blow by. I assume it's blowing by the rings. You're going to hear it over in the intake, but at least that other cylinder wasn't too bad. So we'll find out. Sounds a little bit more maybe. Okay, so one of the first things that you're going to notice, especially on a car that's stock and had this set up in it for a while, is your retainers are going to want to stick. So I recommend you go ahead first off and tap the retainers like that, and believe it or not, that will break them free. On your intake, you're going to have a little, show them this piece right here. There's another piece of your retainer, so that's a 2-piece on your stock deal here. So you're going to want to make sure that you tap the inside ring of that as well, right there.
Make it a little faster.
I doubt that. Alrighty. Now, if you pull this and you hear air gushing out, go ahead, stop, and then we'll tap everything again. But look, it broke free, so that works pretty good. Just like that. Now you're going to have some extra tension on this, so you're going to have to probably get a ratchet or something. Okay. These things are stuck. They've been on for a while, so just pull your old seals off, just like that, and then you'll just press your new ones on. We left these, let them soak in oil just so they don't rip, and as you can see, Andrew just put a sleeve on here, and that's just to keep this from tearing as it goes across where the locks are, because the lock grooves in here are actually pretty sharp, especially on the what was it, the intake was really sharp. So all right, so we're going to go ahead and show you guys how to check everything. All right, so you just want to put your locks in like that and then pull up. All right, and then there's a rod right here, and this is already cut to height.
It's kind of aggravating to get in there.
So there's a little bit of play here. So probably use the 20,000 shim here and then go from there. So we have one of those. This shim goes in really nice. So that's going to be perfect. So now what we're going to do is just pull this off, and we're going to lay this shim on the bottom of the head, install the spring, be good to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge ahead of time, they make better tools for this. This is old. I've had this thing for over 20 years, so it's just what I have. But there are better tools out there for this. And like I said before, you can always use the string method or whatever else out there in YouTube land you've learned. Typically the bottom is going to be the easiest to get in first. See the difference in the gap there? So what we're going to try to do here, and it worked earlier, is there we go. Just roll this around like that, and then this bottom one should just fall into place. Down just a little bit. All right, right there. Okay, that's it. All right, guys, that is how you install valve springs while they're still on the car. I probably need to make that its own video. I don't know. So I may do that. I may just make that its own video, but I'm not going to tell you that it's easy, okay? I'm really not. Like changing the cam out in a car, that's pretty straightforward. It's just nuts and bolts. That's pretty easy. Something like this, you need a friend over. You definitely need an extra set of hands to do this because these things are finicky and they don't give you any extra locks. If you drop that lock, it's done. I'm not sure where I'm going to pick back up on this, but tomorrow more than likely Andrew's going to have to come out here and finish this thing up because we got a late start today on it. And I I may be able to talk him into doing a time lapse for me. Maybe. We'll see. But anyway, I'll catch back up with you just as soon as we get all of this done. Andrew, you said you wouldn't do that for YouTube?
Mm-mm.
Now,
They've seen enough.
now, Andrew, these people love you. They're always like, hey, where's Andrew? We want Andrew. We love Andrew, but you're going to treat them like that.
They say.
Actually, they do.
My videos are nothing but comical. There's nothing instructional about it.
So I decided to go ahead and make this video its own thing. So we're just gonna let it be a valve spring install video. We've got a lot of footage of Andrew's car, but just not a lot of footage of us working on it and installing the cam. I had to go to work, Andrew took over. So a lot of the work just kind of got skipped over. That's not really the important thing. We have cam install videos, but what's important is how this cam sounds. So we'll get to that in the next video. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the valve spring video. I hope it helps somebody out. It is what it is. I'll catch you guys in the next video. And as always, thanks for watching.